What's going on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, everybody all over the world? Listen, I'm so hyped. I'm so excited. I need all y'all to click, like, and share. I'm going to give you a minute. Hey, it's going down, everybody. Hey, come on, y'all. Anointed Radio is going down tonight. Listen, what's going on? Shout out to Dave Becker, my brother, supporting. Dave, click like and share. Click like and share, because tonight my special guest is taking me to a whole nother level. Y'all don't understand. You about to be inspired. You're about to be blessed. You're about to. All I will say is tap in. Tap, 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 tap in. Tap, 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 tap in. Episode 3. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the DW Experience, episode number 3. There's something about the number 3. Let me just say that I am so hyped and so excited tonight, y'all. Let me just start off by saying thank y'all so much, everybody, all out there, all over the world, everybody who's been supporting me. I see you. Thank you for the encouraging messages. Thank you for tuning in. I thank you all so much for just being a part of this experience, because it's going down. Look, I'm so excited. I'm spitting everywhere. So before I bring on my guest, I just want to share a little bit of DW insight. Repeat after me, and I've been sharing this. I am enough. I am enough. I need y'all to know out there, wherever you are, whatever you're going through, whether you feel like you're good enough, not good enough, you are enough out there right now. So tonight, or this afternoon, this morning, wherever you're viewing this right now or on the replay, I am going to have on an amazing guest. Singer, songwriter, actress, rapper, dancer, and so much more. The all-around, ever so beautiful, ever so talented, ever so intelligent, ever so resilient, the absolutely wonderful Lori Moore. Y'all give it up. Give it up for Lori Moore. Listen, y'all, before we even get into it, what I will say to you, Dave, to everybody listening right now, we got 9 people tuned in right now. That's saying a lot for the 3rd episode. Click like and share. We have Lori Moore from Chicago. So listen, Chicago, right?
Yes, Chi-Town, Southside.
Chi-Town, I need you guys to tap in tonight. Welcome to the show, Lori. Thank you so much for being on my show. Like we were saying backstage, it's so crazy. Like, I'm like, we've known each other for over a decade.
Crazy.
I met you.
This is automatic. You call me, I'm there.
I appreciate you so much. So from Chicago, let's start from, I'm so excited. Let's start from the beginning.
Oh,
you're from Chicago.
Yeah.
From Chi-Town. When you, for the people out there who don't know who Lori Moore is, who is Lori Moore? Let's start right there.
Wow, that's tough. Like, it's been a journey. It's been a really amazing journey of self-discovery, and I think that's what we do. That's why we grow up. That's the whole point of this thing is find out who you are, and then find out why you're here, and then do it. And so in the beginning, finding out who I was, I found out that obviously my upbringing comes from the South Side, a middle class Black family. My father was a Black Panther. My mother was a part of the Student Nonviolent Coalition, so she was a part of SNCC. So I got strong ties to the Civil Rights Movement and beyond. I guess today you would call that the BLM movement. So I've always had that upbringing of. I came up in the church, obviously singing in the church. That translated to pageantry. So I did all of the little balls and talent shows, and I just discovered I could sing early. Really what it was, I was trying to stay up late night at night as a kid, and I just did whatever it took. And so I found out my father liked singing, so I was singing and try to emulate his favorite singers, Patti LaBelle and people like that. And he would let me stay. He wouldn't even realize I'm up at 10 o'clock. So it was like it was like my scheme. Actually, it was just a hustle at first, like as a kid. But
Like you're like, I got it. Let me do this to stay out of
let's
trouble.
do
Let
this.
like,
No. Actually, just to stay up at like 5, 6 years old, I just didn't want to go to bed. It was a way to avoid bedtime. So I do the Michael Jackson. I do whatever I could. And then I guess when I went to school, the school teacher was also the choir director, and he took a interest in what I was doing. He told my mom that we should take it serious, and I think that's the beginning of the entertainment journey. All of it starts from the church and from my school. Yeah, and it's like anybody. I mean, most of us have come from church. Most singers have come from the church.
singers. Okay,
And
there's a
yeah, like you
difference.
gotta clarify. Most singers and came from the church, so that's where I came from, and I did everything in Chicago that was possible: the Regal Theater, the Taste of Chicago, Sox national anthem, whatever it was. My mom made sure I was busy, and like you said, staying out of trouble was a big deal. So I just stayed out of trouble. I either did basketball, like I said, like you mentioned all that stuff. It's because my mom and my parents set me up that way to do as
Okay.
much as possible to keep my time occupied.
Let me just say, let me just pause you right there. I appreciate your humility, and I knew you were going to be humble. So for those who don't know, I met Lori as Trey Azure as an artist. I was her background singer, and we met through a wonderful man, rest in peace, Harry Thompson.
Yeah, Harry.
Um, and so I was singing background. So let's record deal. You had a record deal.
Yeah, that
Wu
happened
Tang
pretty quick.
Clan.
Oh,
Let me just read.
Wu-Tang,
You worked with Wu Tang Clan. You were
yeah.
mentored by Tisha Campbell Martin.
Yes,
Gina, your writing
yes,
partner, your brother in music, B. Slade,
yes.
also known as Tone,
Oh man,
Tone,
yes.
Lord Make Me
Mm-hmm,
Over. You have
mm-hmm,
written for Shanice, I Like Your Smile. You have written for
mm-hmm,
Sheila E.
yes.
From Rest in Peace Prince.
You
You have a
know what? You bringing up something. I'm like, oh man, I need to
you
make sure. Let me make sure I update my resume.
update your resume. But all of this is facts. You've written for Sheila E. You
Hmm.
have done so much. So my first question to you, with your resume reading as it does, everything that you do, and let me tell y'all, follow her on, we'll talk about all of the things you can follow her on. But have you ever been overlooked, and how have you handled that in the industry?
I mean, to be overlooked, you would have had to be seen,
Ooh,
and I don't
okay.
know that I've been seen. That's the thing. I do feel overlooked. It feels like I've been overlooked. Okay, if I had to put it in a word, it's like you ever watch Forrest Gump?
Yes. Yeah.
You know, his life was crazy, right? You found him in situations. He was in most historical events around the most famous people, and you didn't know him from a can of paint. So I call myself hip hop's Forrest Gump because I'd be standing there right next to the president. Just I don't know where to stay. I know I'm supposed to be there at the moment, but and nobody knows me. But I have been places that you wouldn't even know it.
I mean, one of the places I saw you on was, if anybody's familiar with the show, I hope I'm saying it right, Husbands of Hollywood. Did I say it right?
The real husbands of Hollywood.
The
Yep.
Real Husbands of Hollywood,
Yeah,
where
you couldn't
you
blink
were,
if you wanted to see it.
I mean, but you were there, and you were in the
I was cool.
company of Kevin Hart,
Yes.
of great comedians, of great singers. I
Hmm.
mean, let alone to be mentored by Tisha Campbell Martin.
Right.
How did that even come about? Like, how did that happen?
And that's crazy because that's born out of another crazy relationship. Latoya London from American Idol. I don't know if you remember back
I
when
remember Latoya London. I don't know if the
was it
people out there.
the Divas? So let's
Yeah,
remind them the Divas on the third season, one of the first 3 seasons
yeah,
of
yes.
when it was the bomb, right?
The
Not that
year
it whatever.
Fantasia won.
Yes, which was a great year because you had Fantasia, you had Jennifer
Jennifer.
Hudson, and you had Latoya London, and they were the
Yes.
divas. So I met Latoya London doing The Color Purple. I was one of the church ladies. I got a small role in Color Purple, and she played Suge Avery. And we were like doing work in the studio. I got to write for her a little bit, and she had to go back to Oakland. But before she left, they had called her to do this gig, and she said, "I can't do it because I'm moving back. Go meet my friend cousin Eddie. He's Tisha Campbell Martin's cousin. He's the one that's going to be hiring, but I already told him about you. Blah blah blah." So I went to an audition, and Eddie was there. I came highly recommended, so it was like it wasn't an audition, but it was. Everything was an audition because you're around energy, new people, and high level people. So you have to know how to conduct yourself, when you're around certain people. And I was always uh, I'm always like fly on the wall at first perception because I need to know my environment and such. But when I first met Tisha, she was just so
I love how you
she
say
just
your
took
name
me.
so nonchalantly. When I first met
Tisha.
Tisha,
I
Tisha,
know, but that is what
Gina,
it is. Like, I actually I
I
call
got
her
you.
T. I heard AJ from House Party, or should I say Jody's mom. She be like Tay, Tay, and so for ever since I heard her call Tisha T, when I'm texting her, I don't ever. It's always Tay. I don't know what that is. Anyway, when I first met T, she was so like she gravitated to me, and she was nice. And that's the one thing I remember. And I was like, wow. So the first thing I said to her, I was like, and I stuttered because I was like, first of all, y'all don't understand. I had a Martin problem. I had a Martin, the Martin Lawrence show, I had a Martin problem. So meeting the star of that show was
Gina.
like, come on, Gina, which, oh, yeah, we'll get into that. But so I said, hey, now, and she thought I was about to say Tashina. She's like, no, I'm the light skinned one. Don't worry about it. I was like, no, I wasn't going to call you Tashina. Like, so we had this like mortifying moment where but she was just helping me to relax by joshing me. And when I tell you that relationship was the best, money couldn't buy that relationship. And I was there for a job. So when I look back at that, I could pay for that in internship
I
easily.
want to pause right there and just ask, like, what advice would you give to up and coming artists, in terms of um, be, entering in,
Bet
like,
on yourself.
you just said
Bet
something so
on
powerful.
yourself. Bet on yourself.
Ooh,
I wish
bet
I'd have
on
done it a
yourself.
long, 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 long time ago. Because the industry is built to show you all these cookie cutter, um, let's say assembly lines, right? And we see them coming out. And I don't want to name names, but the teen R&B chick, the over 20 country star, they all look a certain way. And so
Hmm.
what the industry will have you to believe is that you need to make me see that in you in order for you to get somewhere. And it is true that being different is a gift and a curse because somebody's looking for something different, but they don't bet on different. They want
Mm.
the safe choice, the thing that I know this sounds like scissors, so this is going to be a hit. Boom. But if you bet on yourself and you
Hmm.
keep working and you do not allow, because the negative thoughts in here are way more vast than the outside ones. So if
You're
you could
dropping
come
knowledge
in
right now.
here, if you could get in here,
Yeah.
clean that out, and bet on yourself and just trust yourself. The problem is when you're green or when you're new, you don't trust yourself because you're green and you're new. But what you're not new to is your voice. You're not new to singing. These are things that it's a muscle. So if I go in, like you said, we talk about being snatched. If I go in and I work out, you're gonna see this. You're gonna see this develop. It ain't even good. But when I keep on it, it's gonna
Yeah.
develop. If I stop, guess what? It's gonna stop. So I think everything is a muscle, and you do it. It works if you work it. Hard work.
Okay. We have Miss Hard Work, that you coined that phrase. We have so much to pack in. So I'm going to move forward. Football player, X Factor. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So there was a lady came into Zen Lounge. I was working with Tisha, and uh, she had she was a producer for the show, and she told Tisha, "Hey, if you got any people, have them send the video, blah blah blah." And she said she told us the information. She gave us the information. Everybody at Zen Lounge that worked there, because shout out to Berkeley Artist, he's like one of my brothers. Um, Eddie Stockley, Kim Hawthorne, who was on Greenleaf. I don't know if you've seen Kim killing the game right now, but these are people that we started out in Zen Lounge together.
Really?
So
Okay.
all of us was invited to do this. She said, "But I want to talk to you." When she said, "I want to talk to you so we can get your package." You know, I've gone out for these shows bajillions of times. I sat down with T. She she just asked me about my life. I told her, like, we sitting at lunch after a rehearsal, and I'm just pouring my life out, just telling her who I am. And I got to the part where I moved to LA, and I was looking for a way to keep in shape. And I come from basketball, so I played Division 1 basketball for Eastern Illinois. And I wanted to find like a league or something that, because I love to play basketball. I can't stand working out. Let me be very honest. I don't like to get in no gym and go up and down and lift something 5 times, 3 times. I don't want to do
But you
that.
play basketball. Like, can we
But
be
I play
clear? Like, you
Oh, let's be
play.
clear. Third in the OVC, that's the Ohio Valley Conference, in assists, eighth in steals. I'm not a joke. I don't play games. On the court, and I got a mouth. So I used to love basketball. Basketball and music were my first love. They ran hand in hand until I got signed. I got signed while I was in college, so I had to let go of basketball to do music. So the whole point, athleticism and music, it's been that the whole time. So I get to the part where I moved to California and I couldn't find a rec league for basketball, and I said, so I joined this football team. I was really just gonna go to work out. She said, stop. Like what? Like powder puff? I said, no, it's professional women's football. She was like, what? So I showed her on YouTube because we actually went, and we went. My team went to the what they call the Super Bowl, it's the championship, and we played at Heinz Field at the Steelers' actual stadium. I got to play professional women's football in a professional men's stadium in front of thousands of people, and it was on ESPN. And I showed it to her. She's like, I ain't never seen no S like this before. I said, she's like, this is what you need to do. I said, what? How do I? She said, go get your uniform, get your jersey, put some cute jeans on and some heels, walk out to the middle of the 50-yard line and do your audition tape. And I did exactly what she told me to do. And sure enough, they called me. They called me and they said, do you want to be an alternate? And I said, what's an alternate? Well, let me be honest. Alternate means we want you to come down to the USC Galen Center and we want you to potentially audition, but you're an alternate, so you're not guaranteed to audition. That means we want you to stay all day if you need to, and if we get to you, we get to you. I mean, I
Okay,
had
can
nothing
we
to
got to pause
lose.
right there. You had nothing to lose, but
Yeah,
let's pause right there because
yeah,
you know, you and I
but
know, and a lot
prepare
of people who are in the industry are aware of the behind the scenes when it comes to these, you know, shows like American Idol,
yeah,
like X Factor,
uh-huh.
like The Voice.
Like the voice.
You just dropped a nugget and something that people need to be aware of. Like, let me just pause right
Mm.
here again. Click like and share. Click like and share. But repeat what you said again about that, because a lot of, you know, people just think you got on the show and YouTube it. You can look her up, and that you
Mhm.
just made it. And Simon loved you. Well, Simon didn't love you actually.
He did love me. He was the only one that loved me.
He was the
That's
okay.
what's
He was
weird.
the
'Cause normally, if he don't like you, then it don't even matter who else like you. And normally, if he like you, it don't matter who don't. But it didn't work for me like that.
but you weren't even guaranteed to audition. Like, so just kind
No,
of like to explain
that
that.
was a mental war in itself because I went there and they knew that I knew Tisha, but that wasn't the focus. They were so interested in me being a football player, and Tisha came. She came and stood in that long line with me, although the line was,
Gina
I don't
came
know
and
if I'm
stood in
gonna say
line with you. I'm sorry for calling her
it.
Gina, but I know her as
Listen,
Gina.
it was so funny that we captured the moment that they didn't air, where a white lady behind us was like, she called her a different actress, and it was hilarious. And she thought it was just hilariously funny. And I thought that's gonna make it, but it didn't. But also, she didn't want to interrupt or become a distraction from my moment in the show. So she was there. She was there and she recorded with me. She stayed as long as she could. Then she had to take Zen. Zen is her son that the restaurant was named after. She had to take him somewhere. So she stayed as long as she could. When I tell you that's my sis, and I don't, that's not no Hollywood stuff. If I call her today, she's gonna answer. She's gonna text me back. If I had surgery last year, she was a FaceTime, first person to FaceTime me. So that's my sister. Like in real life, like we developed a great bond, and I'll never like she's forever a core uh, staple in the foundation of who I am as an entertainer.
Big shout out to Tisha Campbell Martin. I just, I feel like at some point she may watch this, and just big shout out to her for just being an amazing human being. So, okay, we're gonna play a game. We have so much to cover in an hour because you're so amazing. So we're gonna play a game, and we're gonna keep continuing with the questions. The game we're playing tonight, I developed this. This is the first time we're playing this, and I'm developing this for the DW experience, called Truth or Sing.
Ooh.
Truth or Sing. So I'm gonna ask you truth or sing. If you choose truth, I'm gonna ask you a question. If you choose sing, I'm gonna give you a word. And now, because you're a singer and a rapper, I give you freedom to do whatever you want to do. But I'm gonna give you a word.
All right.
And you got 8 seconds.
Is this just one time that I can choose one or the other?
We probably do about 4 or 5 rounds.
Thing, but I love a truth. Let's go truth first.
Okay, truth. What are you most likely very wrong about?
Oh. That is like a vast. Do you understand? Like in a, because I've been wrong. So like, I'm most likely wrong about. I'm most likely wrong about reasons I didn't get the part or win the over the gatekeepers. I feel like I'm most likely wrong about that.
Okay, I'm going to follow up. Give me an example.
I
can't. You wasn't ready for this. You didn't know it was going to be like this.
Oh, it's the extra truth. Because I'm in my head 24, or I used to be. I've freed myself. I'm so free now. I visit, but I don't live there anymore. But I would say that an example would be I never understood. Let's say like there's so many of them. Let's say I never. So in my mind, let's go back to when I was signed to Rap A Lot Records in 1999 with the girl group, and I was the leader of the group. And Little Mo had written the whole album, and we had.
I'm sorry, Little Mo.
Little Mo wrote our whole album. I'm just telling you, I'm the Forrest Gump of this thing. So anyway, Little Mo wrote the album. It was an amazing album. It was like, and this is no disrespect at all. It was like the next best thing to having Missy write your whole album. That it was like Missy little sister wrote our album, literally. And we had Montel Jordan on the song. We had these are people, Ja Rule before 50 Cent. This is before 50 Cent came out. You understand? And the one thing I couldn't understand is how that didn't pop off, right? And why it didn't go. The record execs that we were signed to, our production team would have us to believe that it was because we didn't lose the weight. And I think that I felt the same way because of my insecurity. But I think I'm wrong about that. And I think I'm wrong to believe that it had anything to even do with us.
That was heavy. That was a nugget. Like, I know I'm gonna say click, like, and share, but that was like that was historical. That what you just shared was historical. You had an album. You were signed to Rap A
Yeah.
Lot Records. Little Mo wrote the whole album. Ja Rule. But looking back on it, at the time, you thought it was the physical.
Yeah, well,
But
that's what they did to keep us motivated in a negative way. It worked for
mm,
me because I'm an athlete, but other girls in the group did not respond well to that, and then it became a complacency thing. So then we started to lose a third member, and then we had to get a new member, and then it just kind of fell apart. And then something that was shared with me later in the years that I wish that was never shared was that Brian Leach, the same gentleman who signed ASAP Rocky to all the millions of dollars, he was our production. I knew Brian Leach. He told me he wanted to marry my voice. I know Brian Leach. So Brian had submitted a solo record deal for me, but because I was
mm,
so upset about the girl group failing, my manager felt that she could veto that deal without even telling me.
okay, let's move forward because that was you just laid a whole lot out there,
Yeah,
and y'all just gonna
it's
have
the
to watch
truth,
the
but
replay.
about it, but that's what happened.
Okay, truth, or sing.
Sing child, too much truth. Truth is too heavy.
The word is before.
Ooh, ooh. Before you count me out, before you disregard me, before you think that I'm that one that you can send away, before I had the deal, before this felt so real, I was the same chick that let you know the deepest inklings of my heart. That's all I got. That's all I can think of right now.
The way you sing, it like you're so unassuming in
Yeah,
the
I
most
like my
beautiful way. I I love good singing. Okay,
I'm
truth or
not. I feel like a rapper that can sing.
okay. So
I
let
just
me
don't
ask you:
know the
Do you
single first. It's weird.
which came first, rapping or singing?
That's tough because I'm writing to me, writing poetry and stuff. That's rap for me. That's already rap. But when we're talking about third grade Christmas pageant, I was singing. I have to say it's singing. But
Okay,
but I've been around so many musical beasts. You talk about Angie Fisher. You talk about Beast Play. I cannot stand in the room with them, and these are people who will stand for me. And it
yeah.
blows my mind that these people even see me, my shadow in a room. So I'm very what's that? Not sensitive, but I'm very what do you call it? Insecure about my singing side.
It makes sense. I mean that makes
Yeah.
sense.
You
Yeah.
been around these people, they are beasts. It's not a game. It's effortless. My hard work. My stuff takes effort.
Let me tell you,
So
I sang background for you, singing with Harry, singing with
Harry,
Angie. You know,
Harry's
I
another one.
listen. It's okay. I'm just gonna ask you, and I'm gonna put you on the spot. Let me
Yeah.
get like just drop some bars. Like just I want the people to
Oh,
hear you rap. Like
um,
what's your favorite bars? Just drop something real quick, inspiring. What's on your heart?
you know, let's see. Oh, the baby's out of the tube. Let me see. What about? Let me see. There's this one verse that I used to always do. Oh man, it really captured how I felt about the world. I was like, living in a world full of dreamers, everybody balling, something like Rawlins. Running out the womb, ain't nobody crawling. Scared to be alone. Wait, running out the room, everybody ain't nobody crawling. We don't know what love is, ain't nobody falling. Scared to be alone, everybody you hauling. Feel like Yeezy. The shit is appalling. Like it was like, oh man, I can't like. And then I go into my little whenever, whatever, however you want it, I can spit it and get it, whatever, whomever. You never can admit it. I did it with clever and better pros, and I'm in it to win it. A goal getter, my flows, they've been bit it. Like the blunt, I lit it, I hit it, I puff, I pass, I split it. With all my dudes that's true, and I'm gonna win this a dang shame. Ladies tried on my shoes, didn't fit it. Damn game's kind of cocky, but hell, I meant it. 1 minute. Not finished, gotta catch my breath and proceed to rep till the very end of the set of 16. Me like my third grade teacher about teaching switch teams because we got mad reach. That's yeah.
Woo! Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. I love you, my sister. One, I want to say congratulations. You have another baby coming along the way, right? So you've got your first Michaela. You have your wife, and you have this new baby coming along.
Possibly.
Aries. Aries.
Yeah.
Hey.
Is that you?
April 19th. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I want a little separation. I want her to be kind of a March. If I could get a March Aries, that'd be good.
Because Aries, we are a lot, and
But you know what? I'm on the cusp, so I understand it. I understand it. People think I'm an Aries. I'm like, nah, I'm a Taurus. Yeah.
I get you. I get you. What I want to, I'm going to choose the next one. We're going to go with truth. And having your wife, having this beautiful family, evolving. And when we're talking, you talked about being free, living in your truth. Mm-hmm. How have you navigated? Well, no, let me ask you this. Let me rephrase it. Mm-hmm. What lessons have you learned from God this year in your evolution and being where you are?
Man. See, that's a great question. This year alone is a heavy question. Yes, this is major because what I learned, the thing I'm happiest about that I learned is that I got the right partner. I chose the best person possible to to be me against the world with. Because if this is it, if it's going down, you understand. I understand that I have somebody who we are like-minded, we are unified in the things that we do. A lot of people had a wake-up call this year based on the people that they're with, especially being in quarantine. You had a lot of domestic things go awry, and it's hard to sit in a house with the same person day in and day out. But hey, I was already doing that. It's called marriage. So, but what I learned this year was that you said it earlier, and it just hit my heart. I'm enough. I mean, it's always been a thought. You know what I mean? Like you like I'm enough. Like, but it ain't. You ain't convinced the way you said. It's right. This year was like I'm enough.
Yeah.
It's just a fact. It's a fact now, and I have everything I need right here in this quarantine house. I got everything I need, and so that's God taught me that, and He taught me. He just taught me that change is the only constant.
It is. I had a friend who used to say, either change or change will change you.
That's it.
Either change or change will change you.
Evolve, you will die.
If you okay, let's
unpack it. Okay, because I don't want to sound like, but literally, when we evolve, that's a shame. You know how you die and you reborn. That's a constant thing in our life cycle.
Yeah.
It's constant. That breakup, shed it, and you evolve, and you become something else. That old job that you left that job, you shed it, and you become new. This is a law of nature that we do all the time. If you fail to move out of the place that you are no longer supposed to be in, then you just stay in that dying state. You're just dead.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be reborn if you don't move. That's what I learned.
That was heavy, and this is the Anointed Radio Network. A lot of people know me. I've evolved, and I talk about my past as far as evolving into this place of Daryl. I've dealt with drug addiction. I've dealt with, a lot of stuff that alcoholism, the whole nine, you name it. I've overcome it, and I'm in a place where I can talk about it freely. In talking about you and your wife and your family, and we've had conversations outside as far as attending church and your relationship with God. I ask you this question, not selfishly, but for other people listening. How have you navigated your walk with God and who you are? And I ask this not for me or you, but for the young woman and the young man listening right
Absolutely. So I grew up in the church. We talked about that. I was a psalmist. I led praise and worship. I I preached. I was a youth minister. I preached at youth retreats. You people won't know this about me because this happened when I was 12 and all the way up until about 16, and uh, things changed because I knew the word up and down. I understood that where I was moving as a person didn't fit into what my church home was okay with.
now.
So there was a lot of guilt. I carried a lot of guilt
Is that the
over.
baby in the background?
Hi, you want to say hi? Hi, hi. Hi, hi. That's Michaela. Say
Hi,
hi.
Michaela.
Oh wait, look. I want you to do that. I want you to go. What we got? Oh, mommy's already out. So yes, so we're gonna have dinner in about 30 minutes, but we'll be done by then anyway. But I just carried a lot of guilt, but I fought that guilt throughout my whole little adult life. I'm like, I know who I am. I know whose I am. And you couldn't. I don't. How do I say this? I understood what I understood. I read what I read. Right, but I could not uh, shake myself.
Hmm.
I'm stuck with myself, who I am,
Hmm.
and I did a lot of I cut everybody off. I cut church completely off. It's
Hmm.
not there. They don't like me. I don't like them. It's fine. It is what it is. I chose my side. I'm in a different gang now. It was kind of crip and bloodish for a long time. And then there were things that would happen. When my mom, I was a churchgoer in my house, the only person to go to church. This is how I was such an
Really?
evangelist. I was always witnessing to I grew up in a dysfunctional house with alcohol running rampant, and very close with my pastor. My pastor would help me call the police when they were acting crazy. It's deep. I come from a different place.
Hmm.
So when you talk about the drug addiction and alcohol abuse, I know that from a different lens. When I decided that it was no longer that, when I would go to church and they started preaching about my business because they saw me come in, that's when I decided I can't. God, guess what? And I still prayed. I still read. I still prayed and said, I can deal with your people. I'm not going to do it.
Hmm.
And it became to a point where I met my wife. And guess who got me going back to church? My wife. I didn't
Hmm.
want to. First few times I'd go sit in the back. I just want to hear. I just want to hear, let something hit my ear. I'm very discerning, so it's not like I'm just going to take whatever anybody says. I know the word, so I want to let it hit my ear. And as long as they got some good praise and worship, yeah, I'll come back. And it became I'm going back again. And then it became I need prayer before this surgery because I ended up having to deal with cancer for a moment. And then it became I'm going every week because my wife she wants to make sure. And my church home was very um, I can say they are, what they call tolerant, which I'm not a fan of. But
Hmm. Hmm.
I just feel like at the end of the day, I know who I am. I know whose I am. And whether
Hmm.
somebody else, I feel like this. Being who I am going to church is like being the girl that's dressed bummy going to a club. All the other
Hmm.
girls got their hot skirts on, they got their heels, they dress to the nines. They looking at me like, why did we bring her? Girl, you're not getting in. You're not getting into this club. What? And me with my holy jeans. with my dirty shirt and my gym shoes. I'm gonna go up to the door and they gonna let me in. That's just how I feel. And so that's my walk right now. It's not perfect. I don't have the desire to be there all the time because I the people is a big barrier. Like it's a big barrier for me.
Totally
But
makes
my
sense.
body keeps making me go. So I'm just trying to make sure I just keep working on it and I keep receiving prayer and going from there. But I'm getting it, cuz.
I see you, and I will probably. I'm smiling because I'm holding back the tears a little bit, because I really feel like in this last moment, um, you really help some people. Like my goal with the DW experience is not just to be about gossip. I told you this off the air. It's
Mhm.
not just to be, oh, what's the gossip? What's this? But to
Right.
really have people in positions that regular people can go, well, if she's gone through it, if she's come to the other side, maybe I
Hmm.
can get there also. So
Absolutely.
I'm gonna choose a word for you, and I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
present it with this question because you mentioned
Okay.
surgery and cancer. Let's just pause. You beat cancer. Is that
Yes,
you
you are
you beat
correct.
cancer?
Yes.
What song got you through that time? What is the song that really got you through? And go easy on me.
Wow. Okay. Um, and this is like, yeah, we're talking about that whole year. Total praise.
Can you give me just a little bit?
I don't know, don't do it. It's a choir song. Listen, can you see? I don't know
I
if you
I
can see, but it has right off the top. I just got chills
I
right
got
now.
chills
Just
right here too. I mean, even if you don't sing it, let me just say, okay, woo, you can do it, Daryl. You can do it.
you got it. Yes.
No matter where you come from in life, you know, a lot of times we judge the book by the cover. And
Mhm.
as we sat here and talked and getting to know Lori more, to hear you say surgery and I beat cancer.
Just know. Just know. I have so many people that say, I can't believe you went through it. And I shared it as I went through it. And people were like, I had so many people reach out to me and say, oh my God, thank you for sharing. I guess that's not something people do, but I honestly did not see defeat at any time. I
Okay.
didn't see it. And maybe I blame this on the doctors in a good and a bad way because they kept making me feel like it was nothing. They
Okay.
didn't want to panic me, right? But then when they kept saying, "Oh, it's a 5% chance," and then they said, "You know that 5% chance we talked about? Ugh, you the lucky winner." And at that point, it was like, "Oh my God!" So I had to tell people what I was going through. I'd always told people what I was going through. Why would I stop being who I am in the middle of adversity? It didn't make sense to me. So yeah, man, I get people all the time. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for doing that. So I appreciate you letting me jump on your platform to also speak and say things that might help somebody else. You understand?
What would you say,
Yay.
because there's somebody, 'cause we having a Jesus moment right now, but I
Right.
know that there's somebody who is facing, they got the news or they have a
Mhm.
loved one. We're in a pandemic right now where every other day I wake up and somebody has tested positive or did not
Oh my
survive
God.
COVID. What do
Right.
you say to that person as they're going through it? What is your advice?
All right. I got you for a song for that,
Okay.
and I sing it all the time. But it's in the it's my shower song, and I don't really sing in the shower. But when I need it, sometimes my spirit know I need it, so I just sing it to myself. I go, I've fallen flat on my face from living in a world of sin. But Lord, you're awesome. open wide for me, a child, to walk right in. Please wipe away all the tears from my eyes. Please wash my sins away, it away. I've fallen flat on my face from living in a world of sin. But Lord, your loving arms were open wide for me, your child, to walk right in. Please away every one of the tears from my eyes. Please wash my sins away. Sit away. Blot out blot out all my iniquities and create in me a clean heart and renew the right spirit down within me. Oh Lord, I pray each day that you will wash my sins away. Oh, grant your presence, your presence today. Please wash my sins away.
I'm going to make it through the last 10 minutes of this. I'm going to make it to the end of this interview. I'm really holding it together. So, truth or sing? Let's just move forward. Truth or sing?
Oh, good. You pick. What did I do? What did I pick last time? I'll pick sing. Go sing then.
Okay. Okay, let's do sing again. Your
Mm-hmm.
word is pain.
Oh. Mm. Mm. Um. Mm.
Ooh, 10, 9, 8,
Yes.
7, 6, 5, 4,
Um.
3, 2.
The pain that I feel is unlike any other pain one can feel. It's like all of me I feel with nothing in return. All the pain, the pain that I feel is gonna be worth it someday.
Okay, you won on that one. I almost buzzed you, but we're at the beginning of the game. There, we're almost to the end. A couple of more questions. Let's go with some of my truth questions.
Yeah.
Pick a number between 1 and 21.
1 and 21. Oh, my best number is 22. Let's go 7.
Okay, 7. Oh, if a crystal ball could tell you the truth about yourself, your life, the future, or anything else, what would you want to know?
At this point, and this is gonna sound cheesy, I would have it tell me the truth about myself. I don't want to know
Mm,
the future. I don't want to know the future. I finally understood that living in the now is the best place you can be. I
mhm.
can't live in the past and I can't predict the future. And if I could, that wouldn't even be a good life to live. Like, who would be interested in knowing exactly what's going to happen there's value to it, but it over long term, it wouldn't be something I'd be interested in. So I would want to know the truth about myself because I want to know. I'm always trying to improve. So
Mm.
I've always wanted people around me. And honestly, I gotta go back to Brian Lee. He was a New Yorker. If he thought something sucked, he would just say it. And I've not been around that energy since him. Not not in the capacity where it wasn't mean spirited, just factual. So if I could know the truth about who I am factually, I think
Mm.
that would be the best. I would do that.
That was such a deep answer. I don't think. Hopefully, people will get it in the replay. But to thine own self be true, right? To know
Amen.
yourself
Yep.
on such a deeper level. Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
a couple more questions. We getting through this. I held it together. The tears did not hit the cheek.
Mm.
Okay.
No.
Um, let's do another question. Pick a number between 1 and 21.
Three.
3.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see here. What would you like to change about your family?
I changed about my family. Uh, man, that's a tough one because I don't. I would the exterior of it. I would speed up the process of us becoming homeowners, but my actual family, I'm happy. That is
Okay.
amazing to me. I don't have a change for my family. Um, home ownership. That's all I can think of.
Let me follow that up with what would you change about the music industry?
Oh gosh, how much time we got? No, oh man, geez, every not
Let
everything,
me
but
grab a
most
glass
things.
of water. Hold on.
That part. Let me pause with this. Um, mostly, really don't like. Like I would take. That's tough. Let me. I'm about to say something real way out. I'm not gonna say that. I feel I would take the. Okay, I'll tell you what I would change about the music industry. I
Okay.
feel like this should be like any other job, and that people who can do the job should be hired to get the job.
Mm,
And those who cannot do it, I don't care how many hundreds of thousands of followers you have, you can't have the job.
mm,
Because then we're solidifying quality music.
mm,
You can't just decide you're a doctor and get on YouTube. I got 100,000 patients, so I'm a doctor. You had to go
mm,
and you had to learn. You had to be a student. You had to give your life to the craft. And it's too much of people not giving their life to the craft, not being students, being disrespectful as they come in, not respecting the people who made the progress. You just don't see scientists, you know, crapping on Einstein. You know what I mean? You just don't see that. And so I don't like that part of it either. So I think you should be qualified like any other job. I think there should be qualifications.
that was heavy. And there was so much truth to that. I was talking to my niece the other day, and she was like, I wanted to sing her, and I was like, okay, well, listen, I called her. I was like, okay, well, let's start vocal lessons, start recording yourself, start learning songs,
Yeah.
start doing X, Y, Z, and she fell off, and I totally understand, because I think a lot of young people nowadays.
Mm-mm.
Take TikTok or Instagram or social media as a way that I've made it, and that's not necessarily the
Because
case.
I'm gonna say, if she had asked me, and I'm not even joking, I would have been like, get your followers up. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Don't care about your voice. Make sure the body's tight. Get your
Hmm.
followers together. Make
Hmm.
sure you have merchandise on deck. Get a logo. This is a business. It's not about music, unfortunately. So if I was If I'm a,
We'll,
if
we'll,
I'm
we'll
on
drop
here,
that knowledge. Let's say, okay, Auntie Lori,
Auntie
the
Lori
babies
does
have
tell
come
me,
to you and said,
I,
yo, I want to be a
well, see,
singer.
if
What
it's
does
my
Auntie Lori
baby,
say?
Auntie Lori does say, you got to come over here and you got to spend some time with me. But Auntie Lori says, when you're not with me, your social media needs to be, first of all, let's clean it up. Let's clean it up. Let's make sure you don't look raggedy on any. This is just really the world we live in. And
Let's
it just
talk
is what
about
it
it, but
is.
let's drop those gems. Clean up your social
So
media.
clean up your social media. Make sure
Hmm.
you're creating a brand. Find a logo for yourself. Get a caricature. Get anything that will set you apart from everything. Find out who you like in the industry. See what they're doing. Find who you are in that in this in that genre. You understand?
Hmm.
So you have to have the followers because otherwise what? And you can have the followers and get a record deal without the voice, but you can have the voice and not have the followers. You ain't gonna get the record deal. Period.
Say that again. You got to repeat that again. That was money right there.
You
You can have
can
the
have
followers.
without the voice and get a record deal. And then if you
Hmm.
have the voice without the followers, you'll just have a voice without followers. That's just the real of it all.
That was I don't think hopefully down the road somebody will hear that line because if they didn't hear anything else out of this interview, like I'm literally sitting here like you can have the voice and no followers,
Mhm.
or you can have no voice and have the followers and get a record deal.
They will
Somebody out there
come.
needs to hear it.
If you build it, they will come. But the thing about it, imagine if you had both. Imagine if you had both.
And like you, so let's talk about it as we come to the end of the interview. Like, I have literally watched you evolve and reinvent yourself and be resilient. So I remember Trey Azure, and you were doing
Mhm.
that, and then you were Lori Moore, and you were on X Factor, and now TikTok,
Yes.
Instagram. And I have
Got me
literally
thinking.
watched you. Let me just say, y'all, she's a singer, she's a songwriter, she's an actress, rapper, dancer. And so I've watched you get on TikTok and go from one follower to thousands of followers. What is your
I'm
key
so
to
grateful.
resilience?
Um, you gotta keep resetting yourself. Like as somebody who stays in their head all the time, it's very difficult. But if you don't have that problem, it's even better. But the key is stay out of your head. And I'm gonna give you a gem that was dropped by Kevin Shine. He's the guy that actually hooked up Kanye with No ID, and that's why we have Kanye
Hmm.
West. Kevin Shine was my songwriting manager in Chicago, and
Hmm.
he was like Field of Dreams. He was I feel like that was his favorite movie because all you said just make the music. If you build it,
Hmm.
they will come. If you build it,
Hmm.
and I would get in my feelings of why he didn't take it, and I was almost signed by R. Kelly, which was really dodge, but it was a lot of stuff going on, and I was like, well, why did it happen? I thought look, we have to do a whole nother segment because
I was gonna say we need another hour with you. That's what, like, I tried to pack in
you
as much as I can. Like,
did great. I appreciate you, bro. You did great. But so he would say, just make the music, make the music. So with TikTok, make the content, make concentrate on being the best creator you can be. Be creative. Don't work. Honestly, I started following somebody, Robert Benjamin. He's a great guy for mentorship. He understands algorithms and growth and things like that. So I've been listening, and you do your research, make the content, stay working. Stop. I got sidetracked when a couple of I'll say right wing people came in my inbox and tried to disturb my spirit, and that's fine. But I had to get back on track. Like if I let anything, outside things bother me, and I don't create, I don't make at least 6 videos a day. I'm slacking. So
wow,
put
okay,
your head down and
that
make the
was heavy right
content.
there. And I was just telling somebody that because as we come to a close, one, I want to say thank you for being on the show. Two, I want to say thank you for being a trailblazer and never giving up. Like, you inspire me. Like, let me tell you, I did a duet with you on TikTok. I had gotten to a place where I let go of singing and I let go of even sharing my voice with the world because of I just, you know, it,
Sometimes you just stop.
life
Like
will.
I did it.
Yeah, and you inspire me so much, and I hope that you inspire young men and other little girls out there that no matter what you're facing, no matter what you're going through, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, that you can be successful, that your challenges will become your greatest testimonies, you know. And looking at you, let me just say at the end of this, like, you are a cancer survivor, you are an
Amen.
overcomer, you are a mother, you are a wife, you are an artist, and an amazing artist at that. So, Lori, without me crying or getting teary eyed, because you just really make me so happy, I just want to say thank you for being a part of the DW experience. And I will let you have the final words. Is there anything that at the end of this interview, like, what do you want people to know? Of course, let them know where they can follow you on all of your social media handles,
Absolutely.
but also, like, what
Absolutely.
is your message to the people?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, brother. I appreciate you. You never forget about me, and that does not go unnoticed. Um, if I was to leave you guys with anything, I would just honestly say, do your research, be knowledgeable, take, be a sponge, absorb as much information. I mean, healthy information as you can. Keep yourself educated.
Hmm.
Keep working. Keep being you. Do not let any bet on yourself. I'm gonna go back to bet
Mm.
on yourself, and anything works if you work it. All of these formulas that you have, we've understood 1 plus 1 equals 2, A plus B equals C. We've understood this for the beginning of time. That formula works. Now, if I don't put the two with the one, I'll never get three. So do
Hmm.
the work, and your things can be accomplished. You cannot be swayed. You have to bet on yourself. Do the work because it works if you work it.
It works if you work it, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Hardwork herself, and I saw Mrs. Hardwork in the background in the family. Ladies and gentlemen, Lori Moore. Here's what I'm thinking as we end the show. You just got hopped on Clubhouse recently. I'm on
Yeah.
Clubhouse. Later on tonight, I'm gonna pop up. I think we're gonna pop up and have a little DW experience open mic. So tell your friends out there, rappers, writers, poets,
Oh,
singers, from all walks of life. I'm gonna invite you on later on tonight, and you can maybe help me moderate and share those nuggets and answer some questions, give some advice, and also listen, all you artists out there, all my Christian artists, my gospel artists, my R&B artists, my EDM artists, my pop artists, tap into the DW experience if you're on Clubhouse, and I think we're gonna continue this conversation later on tonight if you don't mind.
let's do it.
All right. Thank y'all very much. I'm gonna end it with this.
I wanna be good to you. Call me crazy, but I think about the love of my life. That's right. Have you ever felt warm?
Thank y'all for tuning in to the DW Experience. Everybody have a good night. Peace.